Hey, it's Camila Stevenson. We're talking about wealth today, as always, coming from the Windy City. Tell me where you're from. Tell me where you're chiming in from so I can know what part of the world is joining us right now. Let me know. Let me know. All right, we got some updates. A lot still happening, and I want to bring some updates and some things that you should be looking out for as we are finishing up this month. There are still some things that we need to pay attention to. So I want to go over some of that, and yeah, yeah, let's get with it. Hey, what's going on? I'm committed. I love that. That is so good to hear. Yeah, and it's the committed ones that are going to find themselves in such a beautiful place. All right, what's up from Detroit? I see ya. All right, and listen, I want to really really inspire you. For those who are holding on, I want you to know that it's not in vain, and I'm telling you, this is about to be the ride of your life. What's up from Louisiana, Pastor Lori? What's up, Australia? Hey, what's going on? International, I love it. Trinidad, I love it. Thank you, Jamaican Crypto. Yes, I love that name, by the way. Thanks, thanks, thanks. I'm getting compliments on the hair. I really need to do something with it, y'all. Seriously. All right, I want to update you on some stuff. What's up from St. Louis? And and I want to really kind of take the content of or the information about the carry trade, the reverse carry trade, and kind of add to it a bit. What's up from Virginia? Because I want to explain something interesting that just happened today. What's up from Brooklyn? That we need to really be paying attention to. I just got off of a coaching session with my coaching group, and I was telling them about this today. And there's some things still at play that we could see some crazy moves in the market. And I want you all to understand what it is that we're looking for. What's up from Oakland, Australia? What's up? Yes, I love it. Predicted 650. We'll see if that's right, Stone Alone. Connecticut, I think I already said that. Yeah, from originally from Trinidad. I love it. I love it. Holden from Texas. Got it. Got it. Love it. All right. What's up from DC? All right. So we have one of the things that I'm going to continue to talk about is the psychology of the market, right? First of all, hit that thumbs up. And I just want to say, I'm not telling you what to buy, hold, or sell. I'm not your financial advisor. Everything I say is for educational purposes only. I'm sharing some things that I'm looking for in the market. As you all know, I have been macro centered. I've been macro centered. All right. The oil call. Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit so that we can know exactly what we're looking for. I'm macro centered, and the reason why I'm really heavily looking and researching into crypto right now and what's going on is because of the effects that it can have on the economy and what's happening in Japan, right? And but first, listen, hey, from New Cala, I hope I'm saying this Caledonia, and I might have said that wrong, but hopefully we have some people who are not going to react emotionally. I know that people are fatigued. New York in the house. What's up from Haiti? I know people are absolutely exhausted. Retail is exhausted, y'all. And it has nothing to do with the fundamentals of what's going on. Let me say something. Fatigue is the strongest psychological force in crypto. I promise you it is. People are fatigued and they're having to wait, and the sideways movement that's not breaking out. Listen, I think things when they happen, whether it's going up or down, they will be suddenly. What's up from Alabama? Right? They will be suddenly. And there is a quote that a guy, I think Austin King said this, and I think we're there. And we may see some more pullback. We'll see. But one of the things he said was that there will be a time in the market where the market pulls back 35%, and people will say it's over, but it is not over. I love that statement. There'll be a time where people say it's over, but it will not be over. And people are saying it's over. Okay. People are fatigued now. And I want to go through a list of things to keep you optimistic in a sense and looking forward to the things that are really happening that make sense. And it's not about the price. XRP at $2.12. It's not and it's not about, and that's great. You know what I mean? Some people, especially for some who got it under $2, but this price movement is not as much as an important factor in this moment. But it is when XRP is able to do what it was meant to do. Okay. Now, I do believe there is a huge wealth transfer happening. I think a small window of time, another Haitian in the house, I love it. I think there's a small window of time before all of this play out. And I don't think a lot of people are going to be in position in time. Okay. So I want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, because I want to update you on first what's happening beneath the surface so we can revisit that so you can stay afloat of what's happening. Number one, XRP's infrastructure is still exploding. Okay. XRP just became the fastest crypto ETF to hit $1 billion in AUM this year. That's assets under management. Okay. How high do I think? I don't give a price, but if you go back and watch my video on the reverse carry trade, if you go back and watch my video, I break down how XRP could get to double digits, triple digits, and beyond. Okay. And what events would have to occur for that to happen. But I don't give price predictions. There's some events that we're looking for, but what we do know is there is, hit that button, y'all. What we do know is there's a lot going on. And that's why I want to kind of update you on this. So XRP just became the fastest crypto ETF to hit $1 billion in assets under management this year. So that tells you everything you need to know about where institutional attention is going. Okay. Then we have December 15th when XRP's spot futures, really enjoy listening. I love that. I love that. Yeah, we rocking and rolling, especially again, I'm still buying. I bought some more for my Roth IRA. There's people buying every day. There's people selling stuff to buy. And then there's other people who are afraid and exiting out. And while some people are exiting out, a lot of people are exiting in, right? December 15th is the spot futures go live. Okay. Now, I think a lot of people are underestimating what this means. It increases legitimacy. It increases liquidity. It strengthens institutional pathways. It signals that XRP is being integrated in mainstream financial rails. Okay. And so that's what I want to, I'm going to check that out. Jay, the crypto man. And on top of that, guys, one of the things, and I actually just wrote this down, that Ripple is pursuing a bank license. Okay. Did you know that? Ripple is pursuing a bank license. Nope, I did not mean ETF. I meant actual crypto in a Roth IRA. Yes, indeed. And I'm working on some things that can, I'm working on a partnership so that I can, introduce it to you guys, and I'm trying to see if they'll get like a bonus $100 if somebody opens up their Roth IRA or something. So I'll keep you updated on that. But no, I do actually have crypto in my Roth IRA, and so the license that Ripple is trying to get is, I don't know if people understand how significant that is, because it brings legitimacy. It brings deeper integration into financial rails and operational capabilities. Okay. So, we're talking regulatory oversight, the legitimacy of it becoming part of the plumbing of global finance. Ripple is doing some amazing stuff. The Fed FOMC just dropped by a quarter point. Okay. And so he looked to be he sounded a bit dovish with that being said. And so that means that liquidity is loosening, borrowing is going to become easier, of course, and risk assets get fueled when all of this happened. Okay. Yeah. Ripple is applying for a license. Okay. So that's in the works. And then you have also Fed master account. Yep. Yes, I do believe the question is, if XRP does go to higher prices, would it need to hold for the utility to work? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't work in low prices. I think a lot of people don't understand that XRP was meant for institutions and banks. It wasn't necessarily at the height of what it's supposed to do. It's a bridge with currencies. Okay, so it's supposed to be at a high number in order to do what it's supposed to do. It cannot operate functionally if it's at a low cost. So it's not operating like at its full capacity at a low cost. So yes, it would have to be at a high number. Matter of fact, I think there are some banks and institutions that won't really heavily adopt it in full capacity until it reaches a certain amount, because it's not as functional as it could be at the heights of it. And so it has to be at a high number to do what it's supposed to do. So yes, in other words, the answer is yes. Now, David Schwartz said it needs to be at 10,000 to work efficiently. Yeah, it needs to be highly priced. It cannot be a low. It's not gonna. It's meant for institutions, you guys, to move money fast. You know what I'm saying? It's a liquidity. It's a bridge. So it has to go into a high price in order to function. That's the end goal. Okay. And I don't think a lot of people understand that, because, and so I know a lot of people don't understand that because they're like, oh, it can't even get over $2.50, and they don't understand how it's meant to be. The price right now is not, it's not telling the story. The price is the last thing to move. Okay. So Japan's yields, now there's some alarms flashing, and I'm going to explain this again. There's a lot of people, when I say it, they don't quite understand. Japan's 30-year is now sitting around 2.9%, and that's the highest it's been in about 15 years. The 10-year is around 1.9%. We just got a rate cut. They're increasing their rates. Now this matters because Japanese yields rise. Okay, so this means that their yen is strengthening, which means hit the like button. Hit the like button. I love it. I love it that you guys are helping me out with that. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm really researching to keep you guys abreast of what's happening. Okay, and I just told my group, I was like, if we see a crash, understand that I've been trying to educate you guys on what the possibility is, and I'm going to give you the trigger point to that right before I leave. Hey, from the UK, right when I'm going to tonight talk about, and somebody already mentioned it, about looking at the oil, right? And so the yen is strengthening. The carry trade is going to begin to crack because the yen is strengthening. Remember, they borrowed yen at 0%, translated it into dollars, invested it in the US stock market. That's why our stock market boomed for so long, right? And they invested it in risk on assets like cryptocurrency. But as their rates start to increase, their interest rates start to increase, in order for them to continue holding that debt, it's costing them more money. So they have to unwind this thing, which means they have to sell their assets, convert it back to US dollars, and then move it and pay off the debt that they owe. Okay. Which means that if they sell the assets, then we're going to have a tank in the market. However, because the Clarity Act and the regulation for the other cryptocurrencies are not quite there yet, XRP kind of stands above them because we do have clarity. We do have regulations for XRP. Japan is already embedded in the infrastructure of XRP. They've already tested it out, and they may adopt XRP as the solution to the reverse carry trade unwinding, right? Remember, Japan holds 1 trillion in US treasuries. Okay. So if they're forced again to sell even a fraction of that, it stresses global liquidity instantly, right? And so this is now what we're looking at. And this is the part that people haven't connected. And I didn't derive this on my own. I'm following the information as well. If Japan is the pressure point, then oil is going to be the trigger. Japan imports almost all of their oil. So when oil spikes, the yen weakens, and then Japan's costs start to rise, and then the reverse carry trade gets pushed towards unwinding. Okay. So there's a few things that could cause that to happen, which is Venezuela, I'm pronouncing it, Venezuela tanker seized. That just happened today. There was a huge tanker. The US just seized a huge oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. Okay. They had the helicopters, the ropes, the special forces, the whole military operation. Why did they do that? Well, allegedly it's because the tanker was secretly moving oil from Venezuela to Iran. So two countries under U.S. sanctions. And what the U.S. basically said was that this tanker was part of an illegal oil network. Okay. So always fire investors. Yeah. Gas, gold, guns are always surefire investments. So here's so the tanker was part of an illegal network, and then they also said that it was helping fund terrorist groups, and then they shut it down to stop that flow, right? So when the oil supply is disrupted like this, even if it's one big tanker, the global oil market can react. And if the oil prices jump because of events like this, it can actually push Japan's financial system towards the breaking points much, much faster. Okay. It was going to Cuba, somebody said. So that increases again the global ripple effect of that. So we have to watch that. There's a few things. Yeah, Japan has already tested XRP's rails. They've already done tests. SBI is totally on board. They've been integrated with it. And so it is, Japan loves XRP. Japan's economy and their banks, they use XRP. They love it. So it's highly likely that that would be what they would pick for this solution to be resolved. Okay. There's other things that could cause the oils to spike, which is Iran and Israel tension. It could be Russia supply uncertainty. So there's a few different things. OPEC is signaling also tighter production. There's a few different things that could cause the oils to spike. So I'm watching that because the oil spike, any one of these can spike oils, the oil that I mentioned. But when the oil spikes, it'll cause liquidity shocks, and then it'll cause currency stress, and then there's a global unwind. So that's why this could be a trigger, and that's why I'm watching it. Will it happen? I don't know. I don't know for sure, but it is, I'm watching it. You know what I mean? And so this is a chain reaction that could happen. Okay. And again, oil is really big for Japan because they have to import most of it. Okay. They have to import it. Right. And so that's going to cause stress. And yeah, but the reason why none of this shows up in the price yet, I want to help you to understand that, right? Iran itself is a major oil producer, right? And I know some of this could go over some of your heads, and that's okay. I'm going to keep repeating it, and I want you to get it and understand the economy you're living in, and I also want you prepared if there is a crash, right? So again, and if all of this is planned, somebody said all of this is planned, and it could be, but again, the reason why this matters is if you are in the US or if you do hold cryptocurrency, it could tank it, okay? Because they have to unwind this trade and get out of those risk on assets. The thing about cryptocurrency is it's fast liquidity. Bitcoin is fast liquidity. How can we get liquid real quick? And so, yeah, that'll take a plummet. But at the same time that's taking a plummet, XRP could potentially rise because it's going to be revalued if they choose it to solve the problem, to be the problem solver. Okay. So I'm not saying I want this to happen because a lot of people will see a crash in our economy. You know what I mean? But if you are an XRP holder, you could potentially wind up with a lot more money if they choose this. If it's an if-then situation, I don't know if it'll happen or it'll unwind like this, right? But I am continuing to load up in my Roth IRA. And anytime it goes under $2, I'm loading up. And oh, by the way, hit that like button. I bought some quant today, finally. Okay, I did not have any quant. I finally bought some quant. Okay, so I had a few people saying, you better get that quant. I said, okay, today is the day, right? So I started my position there. When is XRP going to decouple? Because XRP is still coupled with Bitcoin, meaning if Bitcoin crash, XRP crash, you can see the coupling of it. If this were to happen, it would have to decouple. If Japan were to choose XRP as the solution, for fast settlement to get this problem fixed as quick as they could, then XRP would have to decouple and it would be revalued. Okay. The value of it would change, not because of it has nothing to do with TA, technical analysis. The value of it would change because of the need. Okay. When there's a need, then we have to value this that is equal to the need. Okay. And so that's what could make those prices go high. And then there are some banks and institutions that are waiting for a price point before they step in. So when they see if this were to happen and Japan were to step in and adopt it, then you'll see all of a sudden other people get on board once it hits a certain price. Okay, because there's some certain institutions that are like, once it hits this price, we in. Okay, and so that's how you can see it get to those numbers. Now, again, the reason why this doesn't show up in the price now is because infrastructure moves first, right? If the carry trade, right? So Jake says XRP, yeah, will go to 3 digits if the carry trade plays out the way he thinks. And it's possible. Will it happen? That's a different story. I tend to have lower expectations, and I don't mind my expectations being too low and something happening where it goes above my expectations. I'm not moving and planning for this to happen. I'm planning the same way I would any other day. Okay. So because when you move and you plan for stuff like this, you are a bit gambling. Okay. So, and with that, even with that being said, we're at really good prices to put, over the last month, we've been at really good prices to be loading up. So we don't need a gamble. These are great prices to load up. Whether this was going to happen or not, you know what I mean? And if you only like, oh, I'm gonna go all in because I think XRP gonna go to the moon overnight, you still got a gambling mindset, and you got to get rid of that. You know what I'm saying? Like if it does do that, that's great. But when you're talking about building wealth, you got to look long term. Okay, you don't want to be super risky. Okay, unless you know technical analysis, because then you can do your swing trades. But most of the people are in it for the long run, and some people are going to make mistakes, and some people are also going to sell too early because of the fatigue. Okay, some people are going to sell early because of the fatigue. They're tired. They're tired of watching the sideways movements. They're looking at the numbers, and I think you're going to miss out on a breakthrough. Okay, so listen at this, because if you can just understand where we are, ETFs are growing. As a matter of fact, there was a statement said that we could be out of XRP on OTC and dark pools within 3 weeks. Okay. Hey, from New Jersey, thank you so much. We could see it. They're going to have to go to the exchanges, you guys. Right. They're buying them up. They're buying them up. There's not enough supply. Okay. Supply and demand. Right. So we got the ETFs. What's the ticker? QNT for quant. Okay. Are you saying the ticker symbol or the? Okay. I think you're asking for the ticker symbol for quant. QNT. Japan. We're just talking about the Japan reverse carry trade. We got ETFs growing. Hear me out. Just think about this. ETFs growing. We got banking license. Okay. I love this comment. Exactly what she's telling you guys the truth. Okay. We got banking. So this is why I want to say this, so you're not looking at just the price. We got banking licenses that are being pursued. We got futures products launching. We got derivatives. Okay, derivative pathways are opening. That's in game, y'all. That alone is in game. We got macro liquidity shifting. We got oil volatility rising. We got yen pressure building. We got a lot that's going on. And meanwhile, you got retailers trolling on social media because of the price. You are missing it. You're not paying attention. That's why I named it. You're not paying attention at all. This is not about price movement. This is about a positioning moment. And most people are going to miss this. Now, here's what I will say also about if you plan on taking profits. Be careful, because people won't lose money because the market failed or anything. They're going to lose money because their plan failed. No plan in place. You just ready to sell because things... You know what I mean? Like, you got to have a plan in place before a lot of this stuff takes place. You should have your profit taking places, like how much you want to take at what point. And listen, I'm not here to tell you what to buy, hold, or sell. I'm just telling you what I would do, and this is for educational purposes only. But I do want you to understand that if you sell, Be careful because there are capital gains that are waiting for you. A lot of people talking about selling soon as it hit $5. Yeah, some people got sale orders at $7, $10. I get it. Of course, we got to get over those prices because a lot of people are selling there, especially because of the fatigue. But I just want you to know that if you're long-term minded, if you know the macro events, you're going to look crazy if and when XRP gets to 5 digits in the future, right? If you sell everything. Now, if you have enough to take profits at different places, I get it, right? But also understand the IRS is going to be waiting for you at the finish line. Like, you're going to understand you got a tax bill coming, possibly tens of thousands of dollars. Who knows? However, it depends, right? So just remember about those taxes. If you sell too early, you're gonna miss out on your ability to borrow against, even, borrowing money against your assets means no taxes, okay? Because you only get taxed on taxable income, and debt is not taxable income. That's why if you work a job and you have a W-2, you're going to pay the most taxes. If you're a worker and you're an employee, you pay the most taxes. The reason why wealthy people are able to get out of paying taxes is because a lot of times they borrow against their assets, and so they don't have taxable income, right? And then they own businesses, so they can write off expenses and stuff. Like, so there's plans that you can put in place to make sure that these taxes don't get a hold of you, because some people are going to sell. Some people are just, again, they just want to make money. They're like, okay, I'm gambling. I want to buy this and I want to sell here. And then they're not thinking about taxes or anything. And you're going to wind up spending that money probably. And then IRS going to come knocking at your door. Okay. But debt is tax free. Okay. And so if you do hold, you do avoid triggering capital gains. So just put that in mind at your levels that you're going to sell at. Put that in mind. You have capital gains. Okay. And you're losing the ability for your assets to appreciate. Okay. So just make sure you know that. All right. And then also you have yield coming up. You know what I'm saying? In some of the funds, there's yields 4 and 5% where you can live off the principal amount. So think about that also. Not only do you have the ability for this asset to appreciate, but now you can make passive income off of this asset as well. Okay. And then you can take some of that money, you can live off of it. You can reinvest it back into other assets. You can borrow against that asset, and then you can go and buy businesses that produce cash flow. You can buy real estate that gives you cash flow. There's so many different options if you hold. Okay. But like George said, you got to have a solid strategy long term. Okay. So I just want you to understand that. Now, here is the lesson that I want to tell you. I came on here to tell you this. Okay. I came on here to tell you this. Here is the real lesson in your life. Things do not end wrong. They start wrong. They start wrong. They don't end wrong. A relationship don't end wrong. It starts wrong. You didn't have boundaries. You didn't pay attention to the signs. They don't end wrong. And then you wake up one day and say, oh, I think I made a mistake. No, it was signs in the beginning. It's signs in the beginning with your money that things are going to wind up not going in the right direction. And I learned this in real estate. Before I ever bought any property, we already knew, me and my team, when we would have property, we were planning before we even bought the property, what's the escape strategy? What's the exit strategy? We plan, what if the project goes longer than we thought? What if the rates raise? What if we don't sell this property in the 9 months that we think we're going to do it? What if we don't flip this property quick enough? Like, what if the buyers fall through? What if the contractors delay? I have had everything and anything that could go wrong. Trust. And if you ever do fix and flips, you know what I'm saying, right? Why? Because there's a panic that happens when people don't prepare. That's the same thing with crypto. You got to have an exit strategy. You need to have an exit strategy for all possibilities. Okay. And most people don't take time out to sit and think about this, right? So then you got some people that's just looking for profit. They're not thinking about taxes. They're not thinking about yields. They're not thinking about the appreciation. They're going to think about that when they see the numbers go up, right? And then they're going to be like, oh man, you mean, and then they're going to get their phone out and they're going to be doing the you ever did the calculation for how much you missed in the deal? Okay, it was at this much and I had this much, like, and now you looking and your eyes is big. You know what I mean? Things don't end wrong. They start wrong. Okay. Like vision is a survival tool. If you can see the end before you begin, you're going to move differently. Okay. So tonight is about vision. I want you to know that even though I ended with this, it's always been about vision. Why? Because I'm showing you a picture of what's to come. I'm showing you a picture of possibilities. I'm showing you a picture of entry points. If the stock market crash, if things start to crash, guess what? Do you have liquidity? I'm saying this stuff because these might be good entry points. Why? Because wealthy people always load up when there's a crash, a correction, when there's a recession, right? When there's bad times. So I'm giving you a vision to prepare yourself for all different possibilities. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you for sure, but I'm giving you all possibilities. The possibility of XRP going up, the possibility of the stock market going down, the possibility of being able to have yields off your appreciating assets, the possibility of being able to borrow against your assets and not pay taxes. Come on, it's possibilities. The possibility of taking the cash flow and reinvesting it back into another business that gives you more cash flow. I'm giving you the vision so you can see the possibilities. And now you got to do the work to start planning, okay? Because you don't need to be groping around in the dark, not understanding what's going on, right? And even with that being said, if you do, a lot of people are still asking me about my products and everything. Keep you some dry powder. This is awesome, right? So, and then I know exactly what you mean. Doing fix and flips, it's important to prepare and have a plan for all the possible negatives and alternative exit plans when things go wrong. Man, oh man. Learning that lesson, man, let me tell you, I had everything go wrong, having to hire different contractors and everything, not having the right insurance policies in place. You know what I mean? I had people trying to go in my properties and live in them, like and it's just crazy stuff, started happening, right? So prepare for the uncertainty. You need to have an exit strategy. Why? Because you're going to make bad decisions when you're in the middle of fight and flight and survival mode, right? It's like being in a building and it catches on fire and you had all this opportunity to learn where's the exit doors, which hallway do I go down if something go wrong. You got all this time to prepare. I'm screaming it from the mountaintop. You know what I mean? Every time I come on here and then boom, a fire happens. You never tried to figure it out. Now you're trying to learn how to escape and you're dealing with the fire all at the same time. You're in survival. You're in fight or flight. You're not going to make creative decisions, intuitive decisions. You're not going to make decisions that are clear. You're not going to use the prefrontal cortex, right, of your brain. You're going to be using the amygdala. You're scanning for threats. You know what I'm saying? You're going to react emotionary. You're not going to be intentional. You're not going to be anticipatory. You're going to be reactionary. You're going to be reactionary, right? And so that's not good. So I want you to have a plan in place, right? And if you do need structure, and you, first of all, if you don't stock up with Larry, he is still running early Christmas sale. The code is still in the description. So if you want to learn about the markets in a brilliant way where you can understand the fundamentals and cycles and options and cryptocurrency, and you want real financial education, Stock Up University is one of the best learning experiences you can get right now. I'm telling you. And the link is in the description below. And then also, if you want like hands-on coaching where you have a plan in place, accountability, you need guidance so that you're not making these emotional decisions with your personal wealth building portfolio, then the link is in the description to join the Wealth and Health Accelerator. And this is where we help you build a strategy with clear and grounded and practical strategy financially, mentally, physically. Like, yeah, we want to help you into the new year. And also I'm revamping everything. I'm about to do some hiring just to even help me out with the load. And I'm also revamping all the trainings and everything. And I'm preparing for 2026 because there's some things ahead and we just got to be brilliant with where we're going. We got to be brilliant with our financial literacy and with our strategy for our personal success. Okay. And so I'm revamping everything, and the price will be revamped too. So if you want to get here before the price go up, go ahead, and the link is in the description for that. And I do have a coupon code also for that. And then the last thing is I still do have my membership on YouTube. That's just $3.99 a month just to support the channel. And I have some amazing things that I'm going to share even next week. I've been with my group every week, giving some extra information. And it's my way. You're not paying for it. It's really my way of saying thank you. Okay. So we had a powerful session just a few days ago. And all of those videos are only available for my members on YouTube. And yeah, and actually next week I'm going to talk about my personal strategy, my personal exit strategy for cryptocurrency, what I'm doing, what brokerage accounts I have, what cold wallets I have. Like, I'm going to give you my personal game plan. Basically, I'm going to do that for my members in YouTube. So if you're not a part of that, go ahead. And then there's a lot of other videos there that you can see that's only for the members. But again, if we're going into 2026 and you really want some hand-on coaching, make sure you go to the link in the description for that. Are they? Yeah, they are Q&A like videos as well. So I do answer questions there. Our last session we was doing questions. I do trainings there. I do, you know, extra information. I talked about a bank account, a triple tax-free bank account that you can open up. And I talked about that. I talk about all kind of wealth building strategies. I even have done a few basic technical analysis videos there. So yeah. Beta testing coin. I have Bitcoin too, beta testing coin. I have Bitcoin and I have a lot of crypto, you guys. And like I said, I just awesome. I got you. I just got some quant, like I said today. So I'm still accumulating. Why? Institutions are still accumulating. I'm accumulating. And I know a lot of people have again been trolling. XRP ain't even over $3. Okay. Okay. Like I said, I think people are going to be weeping. They're going to look back in the next year and just I don't know if they're going to be able to live with themselves. So thank you. I appreciate that, Alexis. What's up? Let's see. Hey, Bree, Coach Bree in the house. That's my daughter right there, guys. I love you so much. I just want to say that on the live. I love you. She on here like she on live in my family. Like she be on here like just taking notes and everything. She take good notes too. All right, guys. I just want to come over and less than 15 million quad. I wanted to come over and just give you guys some updates and you know, make sure that you guys are staying abreast of what is happening. All right. And I'll be back on. Continue to watch my videos. Also, I'm doing pre-recorded videos as well, helping you with the part of your process. I love the process and I love the journey towards wealth building. Most of you all know it's all up here. It's all about the mind. So I talk a lot on mindset. So you'll hear me talk a lot about that. I love you. You won't miss out. Thank you. I appreciate that. Coach Frey in the house. All right, guys. That was which one? Which is it the laugh with the people who gonna miss out? Which one is that? I'm sure it was. I don't know. Yeah, Quant is available on Kraken. All right. And by the way, you can buy and sell on OTC as well. Kraken has OTC as much. All right. I appreciate that so much. All right, guys, I'm gonna jump on off and I'll be back on. Don't worry. And don't forget to follow me with my make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't, and hit that like button and follow me, because I'm on live because I like the engagement. I like you guys being here. I love the energy and everything, but I'm also doing my videos, my pre-recorded videos that are stretching you also. And I address mindset, and that's what we need. You know what I mean? Because like, wealth isn't about money. It's not about just the resources. It's about options. It's about mindset. It's these underlying root issues that keep us from wealth and wealth building, you know. So I try to hit all of those so that I can grow you and elevate your identity that can match and be in alignment with the money that you're receiving. Because if your mindset isn't being elevated at the same time, then you're going to self-sabotage, right? And so I understand that as a counselor and as someone who understands psychology. So I'm trying to elevate both of those, or trying to bring the information and the transformative process and the journey that you have to be on to elevate those, so that you can sustain your wealth and you can keep your wealth and grow your wealth, and then transfer your wealth into the generations behind you, because it's all about a legacy. All right. Things don't end wrong. They start wrong. Make sure you continue to stay wise, stay wealthy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right. Peace out.